Hello guys, it is Jead, and today we have a trading method that can make coins faster than buying FIFA points. It is that OP. It's how I got over 1 million coins on the second account, and it's how I got my first 2 million coins on the first account. So here is the full modernized guide to the new way we're going to chem style trade on FC 26. So let's jump into it. Right, we're going to cover one, how to actually do the method, how it works, why it works, all that good stuff. Number two, how I find the players and how you find the players to actually do this method of chem style trading with. And then number three is really important. It is 2 ways you can make this even faster, and it's how it gets even faster making coins, how you can outmake the FIFA points. That made no sense, but you know what I mean. The number 3 is basically how it actually becomes like a super fast trading method. So ignore my greasy looking face. I have just moisturized, and let's all subscribe. We are on the road to 10k by Team of the Year. If you are a subscriber at Team of the Year, I will probably do a FIFA point giveaway, and hopefully someone actually packs a Team of the Year from it, which is not likely, let's be honest. So let's jump into it. I want to start very, very quickly with the baby method of this. So this still works, but it's not as good, in my opinion, as the new modernized method. This is the one we've seen before, so the one we're going to show in just a second is new, but this one still works. So I do want to bring it to your attention if you are new. This is the generic hunter and shadow filters. When we have like active times on the game, this can still be amazing. The problem you've got now is there are so many cards that can sit around discard because of how many special cards we have on the game. So all you got to do here is put Hunter and Shadow, special card in, and find the absolute cheapest they sell for. So right now, it is literally discard, right? The problem you've got is, as you've seen just before, a lot of these cards fully don't sell. So if you go to Hunter and you go to 11.5, or I guess 11.750, you'll see we get these cards here that are struggling to sell, right? You know that you can sell these cards at 11.750, but it's just not the profit we want to see. The reason this works so well is some of these cards still sell for way more. It's often the newer cards, so for example, Winter Wild cards. But if you go to Hunter, you put the discard price in of 11k, you can still buy everything, but you just need to be aware that some of these cards you buy are not going to sell for like, more than 11.750. I prefer to do this way here, and then do compare price, because basically you can get cards that pop for 11.750 that sell for 15 to 16k all the way up to 20,000 coins, which is great. And as I'll show you now, you can do this with Hunter and Shadow as well. None of them are really particular, better than the other. They're both the exact same. Shadow, you can see you get some cards price fixed. I guarantee that card sells some more, so we'll buy him. And I'll show you what Alexandro sells for with a Shadow. So we bought that Alexandro for 11,000 coins on the generic filter, and he probably sells for about 13, let's say. I'm not too sure. It seems like he sells for even less, about 12,750. What you'll see with these cards is they always sell, even if they have a lot of cards here at the same price. So I can see he'll sell for 11,750, which is about what? After tax, maybe 1,000 coins profit, which is fine, but the profits come down a little bit, which is why I want to jump on to the method, the new method that's the point of this video, right? The secret method that no one's really talking about and no one's really telling you guys about, but it's by far the best way to make coins on a budget right now in FC 26. So I know I've rushed over that first bit really quickly. It's because it's not really the point of the video. I just want to show you that the Hunter and Shadow generic filters can still work. I'll take my time with the rest of the video just to make sure you guys fully understand how you can do this and how to, make it the most effective, okay? And what we're going to rely on for the rest of the video, the rest of the method, is going to be using cards that have huge gaps with chem styles between their regular price and their price with a chem style. So for example, boys, Luke Shaw, as you can see, his Winter Wild card is about 13,000 coins. It's actually a little bit less, 12,750, but it's about 13,000 coins. And as you can see, this card with a Shadow is actually a little bit ridiculous. It's like 28,000 coins. There you go, 21,000 coins. He was 28,000 coins before. It's a little bit silly. Basically, this card has a 7,000 coin gap with a Shadow, even though Shadow's only like 5,000 coins, which means we can take advantage of cards like that and other cards similar to this that have huge gaps, right? Because we want to take advantage of that profit. So how do we do it? Well, we do it using this method that I want to show you. The second reason this works so well right now, and it's why I think all of you boys should be on this right now, is because of how many cards we have in packs. We have all of these re-release cards in packs, and then we, of course, have all of the Winter Wild cards, Team 3 and Team 2, as well as the Team 2 and 3 heroes and icons in packs. So all of these cards in packs means a massive chunk of the player base won't be doing every single card here. So basically what that means is, if we only have one promo team out with 20 players in, there's only a few cards to chem style trade with, and they all get clogged up and everyone does the same ones. Because there's so many cards in packs, everyone spreads out on different cards, and it makes the method even better. So right now, while all the cards are in packs, is the best time to do this. It will work all year round, but I really recommend doing it now while everything's in packs. You guys always ask me when is best to do this kind of thing, and when should you be on the game trading. Now, we talk about this a lot in the free Discord. We have whole channels dedicated to it. But the simple answer is you want to be on the game doing this when things are active right now, right? So you're going to find more cards like this Luke Shaw with the Shadow being listed when more people are on the game. So that is weekends. It is around content time, so around 6 p.m. UK. And it's an active promo. So right now, Winter Wildcards is a hugely active promo, okay? When we get dead promos like Unbreakables, we tend to get less cards on the game because there's less people on the game, right? So you just want to be on the game when the game is active. Time, days, and promos, all three are the same. Be on the game when it's active. Okay, so we know what we're taking advantage of. We know when to do it, all that good stuff. How do we actually go and do this? What makes it a method rather than just going and sniping cards, right? That's what we're going to show you now. So this is how do we do it. I'm going to try and break it down into as many steps as possible, hopefully simplifying it. Now, if any of this doesn't make sense or it's a little bit complicated, come and check out the Twitch streams. We're live every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we should be live today doing exactly this so you boys can come and get a feel, ask questions, all that good stuff, right? There is one bit of effort required for this method, which is making a list of cards to actually use, right? I'm going to show you that in a second to show you how I make the list of players, what players I use, but just know that is the one bit of effort required for this method. Once you've done that list, you're set. So I'll show you how to get that list of players, but all you're going to do, the main crux of the method, is cycling through the players with chem styles on and simply seeing if there's a deal on the market. Now, this seems weirdly simple to a lot of people, but all you're going to do is, when you've got your list of players, is cycle through them. So Luke Shaw will be on the list if it wasn't obvious. You're going to search him with a Shadow, okay? So defenders and midfielders are often with a Shadow, and attackers are with Hunter, just because that's the good chem style for those cards, obviously. And all you're going to do is, for again, defender, search them with a Shadow, and just search them once. You're only going to search them once on the market. What are we looking for here? We're just looking for any undercuts, right? Luke Shaw clearly sells for about 21,000 coins with the Shadow. If one popped up here in our one search for 15, 13, 14, 16,000 coins, we can buy it and sell it on for about 21,000 coins, okay? These cards lazy sell amazingly well, and you will get sales on this Luke Shaw at 21,000 coins, even though a Shadow doesn't sell for more than 5,000. It's a little bit silly. They lazy sell amazing, so you only need a couple thousand coins of an undercut to make profit on these cards, right? But the reason this method works so well is, once you've searched the card once, you then just move on to the next card in the list. Another card on the list is going to be this Kenan Yildiz, and I will show you the full cards later that you can use. And he's an attacker, right? So of course, we're looking for Hunter here. And again, you've searched Luke Shaw once, and let's say there was no deals on the market. You're then just going to search Kenan Yildiz, right? As you can see, he sells for about 26,000 coins with a Hunter. 26 seems to be the 26 and a half. You seem to be able to get sales at 26 and a half. So any card here for about 24,000 coins and below, we would have bought. He's on the market right now for about 23, 22,000 coins. So it's not uncommon to find cards, Hunters, listed for that price, right? You're not going to sit here and snipe the card like this. You're just going to search once and move on. This method gets really good when you add speed to it, which is what the last part of the video is going to be talking about, how to make it faster, right? Another card on the list is going to be Desiree Douay. He's got a card in packs right now. And again, he's an attacker, so we're going to use Hunter, right? You search Hunter, and you can see he sells for about 27,500 coins to the Hunter. You should be able to get sales at that, right? So if he sells for 27.5, we're looking for probably below 26,000. This one's close to a buy, but it is not a buy, right? All the buys will be here around the 59th minute. Again, you're not going to sit and snipe like this. You're just going to wait for, one search on each card. If there's a card there to buy, you buy it. And if there's not, you don't, right? I hope that makes sense. So you're going to move on, right? And you're going to cycle through the list one by one of all these players you've curated that have huge gaps of Hunters and Shadows, and you're going to start seeing, the more you do this, the faster you do this, the more deals you pick up. And a lot of the deals, like you see with Luke Shaw, it's not 1,000 or 2,000 coins profit. If you get a Luke Shaw at 13,000 coins, which is just what he sells for, but it has a Shadow on, that's upwards of 7,000 coins profit on a single card. And you can see how on a low budget, that adds up. Now, if you're on a super low budget, you're on below 50,000 coins, you can do this with some gold cards. You can only do it with very specific gold cards that are still getting in people's teams, like this Salma card, right? Most gold cards you do this on won't work because people just aren't using gold cards right now. But as you can see with Salma, for example, she sells for about 2,300 coins, and with a Hunter, I don't know exactly what price she'll be, but I'm sure she'll be more than 2,300 coins. As you can see, there's pretty much none with a Hunter, 5,000 coins, right? The problem with golds is they pop up a lot less because a lot less people are using golds in their teams right now. But on a low budget, you can add the gold cards to your list and it still works. Now, there is one huge mistake a lot of people make with this trading method. I want to get to that in just a second, but I want to start by saying, boys, please lazy sell your cards when you do this. If we go back to the Yildiz card, people get this wrong as well. As you can see, Yildiz with a Hunter, from what we've seen before, was about 26 or 27,000 coins, right? He seems to sell for about 26,000 coins. Now, a lot of what you boys would do, or people would do in the new to trading, is they would see that the lowest on the market here is 26,000 coins. So they would list theirs for 25,750. Now, if you're on a very low coin budget total, absolutely fine. I understand you need the coins in your account quickly to rebuy more cards. But what you need to be doing here is seeing that this Yildiz seems to sell for an average of about 26,500 or 27,000 coins. Now, that doesn't mean if you list him for 27,000 coins, he will sell instantly, but it does mean he will eventually sell for 27,000 coins. So you don't need to get this lowest price every single time. To make the most coins from this, you want to do it on a lot of cards and have them all selling for like 26,500, 27,000 coins in this instance. And what you will see is they will eventually sell. You've just seen there, Yildiz for 25,000 coins. I'm not looking to buy right now because I'm obviously invested in cards, but I could easily buy that, list it for 27 and make about 500 to 1,000 coins, which again is not much. You're looking for cards to pop for 24, 23,000 coins, which you will of course get. So what is the huge mistake a lot of people still make? Now, it's more new traders, people who are not experienced, but I've seen it quite a bit and I get asked about it quite a bit. It's just buying with the wrong chem style. Now, a lot of people get tempted to go and do this, right? And I'm sure a lot of you boys will know not to, but you'll see what I mean. Luke Shaw, you'll see, with a Shadow has a huge gap. And I guarantee with a Hunter, see how he sells for 24,000 coins with a Hunter. So people will go, oh, he sells at 24 with a Hunter. And obviously his regular cards like at 12,000 coins. So can I search him with a Hunter? You need to understand, when there's cards like this, it's just that there's one card on the market. No one's buying a defender with a Hunter or an attacker with a Shadow. Just avoid it. The weird one is central midfielders. So for example, this Jill Scott right now is again another card that's actually quite good to trade with, even though she's all the way up at 30,000 coins. So as you can see, she's up at 30,000 coins, and she's this weird, central midfielder that can sell well with both Hunter and Shadow. So there is occasions where it works, where a card's defensive and attacking, right, obviously. But in 99% of cases, just use one of the two chem styles. Don't try and outsmart the system and buy Luke Shaws with engines on because they sell for 10,000 coins more. It doesn't work like that, right? I've just seen it quite a lot in the streams before when we talk about it. So just to bring it to your guys' attention, just in case. Okay, so before we get on to how to make this method faster and make it, a printing coins machine, of course, a huge part of this is how do we find the players to actually do this on. Now, I can give you some players, that's great, but because this will change throughout the year, it's really important to know how to find the players as well. I will show you how I found the players, how I do it currently, but I'll also give you guys some recommendations if you just want some players to go and start doing this with. Like I did say before, you need to go in to make a list of this. You do not need to use footbin lists, not whatsoever. You can do a list on your phone, on a notepad, on Google Docs. You could just literally do it anywhere. You just need a list of players. You can even do the list inside your head if you want to do that. I like using footbin lists here because it gives you the prices, right? Go and make a list, call it Chem Styles, call it Jead, call it anything you want to do. Call it Liverpool are going to win the league because they're doing a massive comeback. Make a list, right? Then what we're going to do is use cards that are in packs and cards from the re-release right now, cards from Winter Wildcards. We use impacts cards because they're getting bought and sold more often than other cards. You do not need to just use impact cards. You can use other cards as well. But golds, impacts, and re-release and Winter Wildcards cards, impacts, are the best for it right now. And obviously that'll change as we get more and more promos coming up, right? But use impact cards. Now, to find, like at the start of these cards, when we get new promos, you can use two places. You can use Twitter. For example, I've got Twitter here, re-release. If you go and follow me, boys, on Twitter, then what you can go and see is I've made a list of all the leakers on Twitter. And I know a lot of you boys hate leaks, but if you do want to go see a leaks, I've made a list. You can just go and subscribe to that. Well, I say subscribe, it's free, but you go subscribe to that list, I think it's what it's called, and you'll see all the leaks in one place. That's how I find the pictures like these, right? Or you go on Footbin, and for the promo teams, you can just go to squads here, and you can load up one of the squads, and you can see all the cards here, right? The second thing we're looking for is cards that are below about 40,000 coins. When you get above 40,000 coins or 50,000 coins, the tax starts to get too much to where it's just not worth it for the profit. There is some exceptions, but for the most part, if we can stay below 40,000 coins, you will see the profit is much better. The next thing we're looking for is just super popular cards, right? So ideally, we're looking at Big League, Big Nation, Meta, just cards that are getting used by a lot of people. So if we start with the bottom here, I would not chem style trade on Alibi Gilbert, Aaron's, or Bakambu, but I would, for example, on Xavi Siemens, Ekatike, Dumfries, cards that are getting used more, they're more popular, they have better links. It just means they're going to get bought and sold more, so you're going to see bigger gaps on them, you're going to see them popping more often. There's no point wasting your time with other cards, right? You can do the same with Winter Wildcards. You can go through and see that Luke Shaw, see, amazing card to do it with because he's English, Premier League, Man United. It just makes sense, right? I would not do it, for example, on this Raskin card, even though he might have a nice gap with a Shadow, but how many people are really wasting a Shadow on Raskin? I apologize if you're a Rangers fan, but you know what I mean. So go back to your list and just add all the cards you want to start doing this with. Now, the more you do this, the more you'll start to see, how it works. But the way I do it is I just go and make a huge list, right? I'll go make a huge list of Luke Shaw, Zagadou. I think Dumfries works really well from the re-release, and you can go and do this with all the cards you're interested in, right? Go make a huge list. There are some cards there that I've showed you. In terms of attackers you've seen, I showed you Yildiz and Due. Go make a huge list, right? And then go back to the game. There is one more step you need to do to verify a card has a good gap, and that is literally search them on the market. So you just seen I added Zagadou there to my list. I just seen him on the squad. I have no idea whether this guy has a good gap with a shadow or not. I actually don't know. But as you can see, his base card is 11,000 coins. He's a defender, so of course we're checking with a shadow. And we'll go and see, does he even have a gap, or is he just worth avoiding? As you can see, amazing gap. This guy's 11,000 coins, and he's 17,000 coins with a shadow, which means he has an amazing gap. If for whatever reason he was just stacked on the market with shadows at 12 or 13,000 coins, and there was no gap there, just remove them from the list and keep adding players. That is simply how to do it. You want to add as many players to the list as possible, but you only want to add good players. Of course, you can add golds, like I say. If you're going to do golds, only use cards that people are still to this day using for either Evos or they're using for the champs team. So a good example is Frimpong. I've seen people using this card for Evos and for their champs team. He is like discard price, but with a shadow, he still has quite a nice gap. And if you're on a low budget, these cards can be insane to trade with. He's all the way up at 3,000 coins of a shadow. If you see one pop at 2,000 coins, it's 1,000 coins profit, which again, low budget, that is fine. But of course, how do we make this fast? Currently right now, time is money. There are loads of things we can do on the game to make coins. So time is money. How do you make this faster? Well, that's the whole point of step 3 of the video. It's 2 ways you can make this literally as fast as possible and become a coin printing machine. So drop a like on the video, boys, if these vids help you out. I have actually not made too many trading vids recently. We've been doing some more market watch and fodder grinds and stuff, but I enjoy making these videos, so drop a like if they help you out. And let's go on to step 3. How can we make this even faster? One of them is really, really simple. One of them's a little bit more complicated, but the first one is really, really simple, right? Once you've got your list, I would organize it into defenders, midfielders, and attackers in terms of what their base position is on FIFA, right? The reason we do this is exactly this reason. This sounds so silly, but when you're cycling through the players, it can take a long time to type a name in, put the quality in, then go click on chem style, and go all the way down to shadow, all the way down to hunter. Now, it's a silly thing, but if you start with the defenders, what you can do is you can flick this here to defender, and once you flick it to defender, when you flick the chemistry style to the left, it will go to shadow, right? The reason you need to do defenders is if you flick it to the left here, it'll go to goalkeeper chem styles and then go to shadow. So if you very quickly just go on, oh, we've gone off it. But if you very quickly just go onto the players and search, well, it'll work for Frimpong as well. You search defender, and then go quickly to shadow, you can see how that's a little bit quicker if you get used to it than searching for, the actual chem style each time. And the same with forwards. If you go onto, I think Due's a forward, he's a right winger. So make sure you sort this before you do it in your list. And you just go forward, all the way to hunter, and you can search, and you can see how that just adds a little bit of speed to it when you're doing it. It's a simple thing, but if you're going to be doing this on repeat, that saved 5 seconds. You can see it adds up very, very quickly, right? That's number 1. Very simple, but it does work. Number 2 is a little bit more complicated, but it is even better, right? And that is combined filters. There's 2 ways you can do this right now. Number 2 is probably a little bit better, but they both work, right? Number 1 is using players that have 2 versions on the game right now. So Madueke has 2 winter wildcards. They're the exact same, just slightly different positions, right? You see right wing and cam, basically the same card, but you can just search Madueke special and both come up, right? Because they're both attackers, we can search hunter. And as you can see, I think he's about 20,000 coins without a chem style. So if we search 25, you can see how both versions can show up here with a hunter. Now, if the cards have vastly different prices, like the Yap Stam, I think one of the Yap Stams is 3 million and one of them is 50,000 coins, that won't work. But when a card has 2 versions that are very similar priced, like Madueke, it lets you search 2 cards at one, basically, right? The even better way to do this is to find specific filters where it brings multiple cards onto the market. I'll give you this one for free, boys. The best one I've found is going straight down to Winter Wildcards and then going English and Premier League, right? As you'll see on this filter, you get a lot of cards that are defenders like Livramento, attackers like Madueke and Rogers. There's Luke Shaw as a defender. There's an Anderson that comes up with shadows as well. And they're all around a similar price. So what you can do is, you can do shadows here, and you put the filter to about 20,000 coins, and you'll get Livramento, Shaw, and Anderson. All you're doing is going to the 59th minute around here, and you'll see if there's any deals. A deal for Livramento is like 13,000 coins. A deal for Shaw is like 17,000 coins. And Anderson is about 12,000 coins. You'd have to go and check that at the time you're doing this, but go and check, and you get all 3 players on one filter, right? The next one you can do is the exact same, but with Hunter, And again, you should get Rodgers, Madueke. You can even sell these Andersons of Hunter for like 16,000 coins. And that Morgan Rodgers there is probably a buy. We'll try and buy it for 20. I'm not sure what he sells for, but you see how he's at the 59th minute. We'll quickly do a double check. And I'm going to guess there was a lot of, I don't know, 5,000 coins profit in this card maybe. So if we search at 27, yep, he's selling for about 27,000 coins. In fact, I'm going to buy this one here for 22, and we'll be able to sell that one for about 27,000 coins. So that's 3,000 or 4,000 coins profit, and the 20,000 coin card was about 5,000 coins profit, which is so nice when you can just filter through and get loads of players on one filter. So you can have that one for free, boys. And let us know down in the comments, what do we want more of? Do we want more trading videos or fodder grind videos or anything else? Let me know. I'm open to ideas, whatever helps you guys out the most. But boys, like always, until next time, I'll see you all in a bizzle.